Hello and welcome to week 14 of the NFL season. Last week in week 13, we saw 2 field goals clinch a game by the Chargers, 2 weather delays in Pittsburgh, 2 back-to-back block punts by the Colts, a 49ers statement win, and with a Jimmy Ward interception in the end zone, the Texans beat the Broncos. Thank you for spending your Thursday evening with us. Each week, we broadcast live on nofilter.net and Caffeine TV. Tonight, we're going to talk about Week 14. We're going to get into 10 important matchups. We're talking a little fantasy football, probably give you a little betting advice as well. I'm K Winn. He's Big Ben. He's Laquan Jones. You know LQ from his editorial content and fantasy football advice from the NFL Network, Rotoballer, at Real Deal Fantasy on Twitter. So get up, stand up. Thank him, because if you listen here, you might just win your fantasy football league.
Let's go.
Yes, Laquan, thank you for joining the show.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for the invite, man. I mean, I love the energy. We already vibing, man.
We are. And fans out there, I do have to let you know it might get a little testy tonight because you know K Winn's Niners fan, Big Ben Seahawks, LQ's Rams. So we're representing everyone out here on the West Coast tonight. But let's get into some fantasy football. So this is the last week before playoffs, a big week. I'm going to start this out.
Huge week. Huge.
With just a general question. Who in your mind, without a doubt, is the fantasy football MVP no matter what league or format?
I mean, it's obviously Puka Nacua, man. I'm not even being biased here. It's just a guy that went undrafted in most leagues over the summer, and you were able to pick him up off the waiver wire after week 1. So, I mean, that's a league winner right there by definition. So, you kind of been riding with him all these weeks, and now he's leading you to the playoffs because he's a guy that you got off the waiver wire. Like if you drafted like a Stephon Diggs with a Keenan Allen, then you throw Puka Nacua in there. That's pretty wicked, man, at the wide receiver position on your team. So I can only imagine what those teams look like, man.
All right. What about the player not playing for the Rams? Come on.
I can't think of anybody else, but I mean, honestly, man, every week there's like a waiver wire hero, and like there's honestly guys that you just pick up and you're just like, oh wow, he's actually getting things going. I mean, honestly, I've been riding with Gardner Minshew. He's been like a solid like between 15 to like 18 points, and that's for a team that's just kind of been like iffy with me. But I have the last seed because of him. Same thing with Sam Howell. I mean, like he's averaging 20 fantasy points per game, and nobody's business, and nobody's talking about it. He's top 5 in passing yards right now. So like for fantasy, I look at those guys, especially at the quarterback position, because it's so important that these are the guys that you want to rely on in the playoffs. So I will give those two, their rewards, their flowers as well.
So last week before playoffs, can you give us a little fantasy advice? Like who may be out there on a bench or a waiver wire who you think should be plugged in this week who's going to have a big impact?
I mean, honestly, at the tight end position, like a real life scenario within myself, Trey McBride's on bye week this week. So it's like, who do I plug in? And look, you got Isaiah Likely out there, not rostered in many leagues. I mean, under 40%, he's highly available to you. So I'm plugging him this week against my Rams because you start your tight ends against my Rams. I mean, it always comes full circle. I'm not the biased crazed fan that don't know the real about my team. So like I'm gonna tell you to play your players that are at tight end against my team. But another guy that I kind of just been looking at, like he's been bouncing on and off my waiver wire really. It's like Demario Douglas for the Patriots. He's not playing tonight, but I've really just been stashing him because like he's a guy that you want to have in the playoffs just based on his target share. He's the most explosive player on this offense. We're seeing this offense starting to get things going tonight against the Steelers. So he's a guy that's just been bouncing on and off my waiver wire. And I think, you just got to ride with players who have a high target percentage, and you got to ride on players that have good yak yards. I mean, the last 4 weeks, man, he's top 5 in yak yards. This is explosive players that you need to keep your eye on because you want that in the playoffs. Yards after the catch are important, especially for smaller wide receivers. And he has all the targets going downfield when they do decide to throw down the field. So those are a couple guys that, you just need to just have on your watch list.
Okay, I got a question. So this is kind of real life, as you were talking about. Last year, I just stacked Josh Allen with Stephon Diggs in both leagues. One, second in the other. This year I got cute. I kept the guys with, low keeper value, over promise. Ended up with Tua in both leagues and no Tyreek Hill. So I was done. I was cooked. Headed into next season.
He's already out of playoffs, so that's why he's thinking next year.
No. This is only in one league. All
right.
I'm still alive in one. What? Give me 3 stacks that you like that aren't the Josh Allen, and because here's what I see. I see the Eagles stack of either, if you have Antonio Brown, and Jalen Hurts. If you have Josh Allen and you have Stephon Diggs, you're good. You're pretty solid. You don't even think about it.
No, those are like the start and forgets. I mean, honestly, I'm trying to think now. I mean, like low key, like the lower tier stacks that I've kind of been riding on was the Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans. Like those are the like stacks that are doable in like the later rounds. Like obviously you get Mike Evans, but you like over the summer, like I got Baker off the waiver wire, but like the leagues that I have Mike Evans, I throw in Baker based on matchup. I go in there and throw him in. One stack that I am like so pissed off about is the Austin Eckler and Justin Herbert stack. Like,
me too.
I've been riding with that, for the last 2 years, and then like this year it's not working out. Sam Howell, Terry McLaurin, another stack that's not working out right now. So like right now, I love the stacks between Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, but I kind of switched it up this year and did Zay Flowers and Lamar Jackson. So that's kind of hit or miss, but like the stacks this year aren't like as elite, as they used to be, just with so many injuries and so many issues at quarterback.
All right, let me give you 2 that I'm thinking about for next year. None of my friends watch this, so I'm not worried about them. CJ Stroud, Tank Dell,
smash.
And this is one where this guy gets no respect from the wideout position. Michael Pittman Jr. And I think Anthony Richardson, they're sold on Anthony Richardson. And I like that stack due to the mobility too.
Yeah.
Because everyone wanted to come out and say, all right, Justin Fields and then, David Moore are gonna kill it. And then one wheel falls off and the whole, the whole cart topples over, right?
Yeah.
Especially the first couple weeks, the way Richardson was scoring touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, that could be a good stack, but here's my worry. This is my worry.
Yeah, give me worry.
And coming back. 1, the injury, him returning. 2, we saw him get a concussion, now the shoulder. So it's kind of like if I do that stack, I wouldn't invest high on Pittman. The guy that you would take the cheaper route with is Josh Downs. He's actually starting to produce out of that slot position. And when you have a quarterback that's mobile and you have a quarterback that's coming back from injury, I tend to target those guys that are the slot because they're the security blanket. They're always going to be in the middle wide open. So that investment, I think Pittman, he'll still stay in the first 3 rounds. Honestly, it all depends by your draft. So ADP is a myth, honestly. But I think the heavy investment you'll get, like tiers wise, like I do tiers over ADP because it just works out better. But I think the investment on Pittman and then go for Richardson, it might hurt you just based on it might not work there. So the lower investment with Josh Downs will be a safer bet because Anthony Richardson doesn't pan out. You still have Josh Downs that will be able to produce out of that slot. And I think with Anthony Richardson coming back from injury, he'll probably favor the slot position other than taking the risk downfield trying to get Pittman.
I got you. Okay. Oh, I also kind of like Alec Pierce. I'm waiting for him to break out. He never does. He has one game every 4 weeks, it seems like.
He's my sleeper this week, actually.
Okay. I want to put you to the test. And this is the test. So I get ESPN Plus.
Okay.
So I cheat a little bit. And if you guys have never used the ESPN leagues, you can actually go on. You can't do it on your mobile. But if you go in the browser, they can give you recommendations. And it's actually all analytics based, right? It gives you their average. I don't think they've ever put someone with a lower average in front, but it's just based on, I don't know how many data points they use. So I have my lineup set on that currently.
Okay.
I want your feedback on this.
Okay.
So it's a 2 running back, 1 flex, 2 wide receiver league.
Okay.
I'll give you my 4 running backs to 5 running backs, 3 spots. Okay. Pierce, Mostert, Mixon. Is it Anshe? Are we going with Anshe?
Oh, Achan.
Achan and
Mhm.
Pollard. So you got 3 out of those 5.
Yeah.
This question is for me, right?
That's tough. I don't like Pierce just based on
Yeah.
it's up and down with the usage because last week he did get more snaps, but Singletary still led them in snap percentage. So that's my issue there. I think they're trying to slow walk Pierce back in. Pollard has a tough matchup. I Eagles Cowboys is like a die-hard division game where things get weird and where like it could be a shootout. The run game could be non-existent. It could just be Dak throwing to CD downfield all game. It could be no check downs for Pollard and it goes to Rico Dowell, or however you say his name. Like it gets weird with those division games. So I try to fade that situation. But I like Mixon. I like Mostert. He's obviously a must start, man. I mean, honestly,
Mostert's a must start.
must
See,
start.
this is the thing. They have me starting Pollard, Achne, and Mixon. No Mostert. They're so high on Achne.
Listen, we've got real deal fantasy
I know.
on the show tonight. We're taking his advice.
Like, I've been victory lapping for like 3 years now with Raheem Mostert because he's 31 now, and I'll be 32 next Thursday. By the way, age is just a number. He's going to produce, and that's all he does. He's just out producing most of the running backs in the league that are drafted like 4 or 5 rounds ahead of him. And you got to understand, you got to go with volume. I like Achan. So I understand why they're telling you to start him, but it took until like the late third quarter for him to even show any fantasy relevance. So I would hate to hold my breath for 3 quarters just to get something out of him, But Mostert, the volume is there. They believe him as the RB1. If anything, Achan's the 1B situation here, but he's very explosive. So you're more so looking for upside here with Achan versus the safe play with Mostert, who's going to get
Right.
carries.
Okay, so then give me 3 out of these 4.
I'll go Mixon. I'll go Pollard just because volume's there as well, but it will get weird. But then Mostert, you just got to start him.
Okay.
You heard it.
It's a 4-point difference in projection. I don't know what algorithm they're in. Okay.
Because he's able to break away at any point in time in the game on any point of the field also. So it's based on upside there.
I don't see him boat race in Tennessee.
No.
At Tennessee. Or no,
I can honestly see them attacking downfield, honestly.
Okay.
So.
All right. Then I got 2 wideouts and I got 5. Actually, Watson's out, right?
Watson unsure, I think, for Monday night.
Okay.
But he's Gabe Davis just in a jersey.
All right. Thielen, Cup, Ayuk, and Hopkins.
Dear
2.
God. DeAndre Hopkins is looking like Shaq when he played for the Celtics right now. Man, Cup against Ravens is tough. I'm actually benching him in a couple of leagues, to be honest. You said Ayuk, right?
Yeah.
Ayuk he's going to eat against the Seahawks.
Oh, God, he's going to kill the Seahawks.
Yeah, he's going to murder. Damn, I think you got to put Cup in that mix, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Over Hopkins?
Over Hopkins, yeah, unfortunately. Because you still got that Dolphins defense, and Ramsey has been playing like a maniac.
Okay.
Returning from injury.
We have your contact information. Home. Yeah, okay.
I'm probably
home
the
address.
Most accountable.
home address.
Probably the most accountable fantasy analyst you'll find in the space. Because I just feel so confident to the point where like people take mistake as cockiness, but no, I do the research and I do the work.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, I take it to the chin. I'm sorry.
All right, I'm going to believe you, your mind over the algorithm that is built by ESPN Fantasy Football. And I appreciate that. Okay. I can't yell at I don't know who to yell at ESPN if I lose. So let's go. That's all I had, K Winn. Thank you.
All right. So we get into some pick'em then.
Oh,
absolutely.
All right. So each week, more times than not, we bring on a very special guest. We didn't have one last week. We got a good one this week. We're going to do pick'em. 10 games, straight winners, straight money line. And the leader right now has 7 out of 10.
What?
If you win this prestigious award, you will get a Lombardi-like trophy. I say Lombardi-like because we get it on Amazon and it just looks like Lombardi. It's really not worth anything. But we will have a big parade. We'll be drinking White Claws with you. Ben will put on that Rams helmet and we will raise that banner for you. So, all right, Ben, you going to lead us off or you want me to?
I will. A classic NFC South matchup with, I think, potential playoff implications, even though both teams may be under 500. This is how it happens every year, Laquan, in the NFC South. But the Bucks are battling the Falcons in Atlanta. Kyle Pitts has been MIA. He's milk box, milk carton. Baker's looked okay.
Baker
He's looked all right.
okay.
Who do you got?
I got to go with the Falcons in the dome, to be honest. I feel like they have home field advantage. I mean, Ritter's obviously, you know, what he is. And honestly, you got to look at this offense as well. They're going to run the piss out of this ball. And the Bucks rush defense isn't what it was in the past. Like, they're still decent, but I think they're just going to focus on the run as what they do every single week. Drake London might cut loose a little bit, but I'm just going to take the home field advantage here with the Falcons.
I like Jesse Bates. He's made plays the last 2 weeks. He should be a Pro Bowler this year.
Amazing. Yeah,
I think he's going to make a play, and I think this is the week the train wheels get taken off Bijan Robinson. About time, because it's playoffs.
Yeah. I agree. I think the last couple of weeks they've kind of been letting him loose a little bit more. I think the media has a lot to do with that. But I really feel as though if they cut Bijan loose, then you're looking at a W. Like, that's honestly why you drafted him. Like, you took your L on Kyle Pitts. You just don't know what to do with Kyle Pitts. I wouldn't be surprised he's a Charger next year or something like that. But it's not working out there in that situation because you traded for Johnny Smith and he's looking like the tight end one, believe it or not. But yeah, I just got to go with the more firepower. I feel like they have it on the ground. I'm not saying Rashad White is washed, but he's not Bijan Robinson. The wide receivers, you know, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin's great guys there. I mean, Auden has some potential for upside for fantasy this week, by the way, if he's on the waiver wire for you. I just feel like overall the run attack is just going to be ran down the Bucs' throat, and the Falcons are home.
Falcons roll. I think it's unanimous. Next game, we've got the Bears playing the Lions in Chicago. Who do you like?
The Bears' rush defense is crazy right now. They're as good as the 49ers right now, and like I really feels like their defense will be the difference maker here. Man, oh man, it's kind of tough. What do you guys think? Don't put me on the spot.
So it's like you read my notes here. Like, the Lions have a great offensive line. They run the ball.
Yeah.
They're dominant. It's like thunder and lightning with Montgomery and Gibbs. But
Bears
like,
defense has been.
I was looking at it. It's the Niners and the Bears defense against the run. That's what the Bears do. And
Yeah.
Fields surprisingly plays well against the Lions. I actually have Chicago as an upset here.
Close. It'll honestly be close. I think this is what I was saying. Some difficult matches. I'm gonna lean the Lions. I'm gonna just say Lions because I honestly think the Lions are fun to watch this year, and this is going to be a tough game.
Did any of you guys see? I think I don't know where I was. It was like 10:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time last weekend. It was Sunday, and I looked at the scores, and it was like 7-0. You know, just Lions had put up 21 points. I think by like the 8-minute mark in the first quarter. It's that. I mean, the only way. And it wasn't through, as at least the stats that I saw, it wasn't like, you know, they were big hits, but Laporta opens up everything for them from what I've seen. Like that, we've all seen this.
Winner right there.
We've all seen this where quarterbacks love the seam route with the tight end or the like 6-yard in for he's a first down getter. He's a different guy in the red zone too. It eases off of St. Brown and. God, it seems like the Lions. I just picked up Jameson Williams. Is it Williams? Yeah, Williams. Deep in my league. Just the stocks. stocking from next year, but the Lions are 5-1 away from home. I think last year they were 1-5. It seemed like, so they can play
Around
on
this
the
time
road.
this year, they kind of like packed it up, but like they're fun to watch. They're explosive, and even last year they were putting points on the board, but they just weren't winning. So now that the defense is getting a little bit adjusted, they got the 1-2 punch. I think they're calling it rhythm and smooth or something like that with David Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs. Like it's a great combination that they have back there with the run game, but that Bears rush defense is going to stop Monty. So the way they beat them though is if you get Gibbs involved in the passing game as well. I think last time they faced each other, I think it was week 11. He finished second on the team in reception. So it's like you got a guy that's as explosive. Utilize him. That's going to be the difference maker in the game.
Okay, this is your boy Gardner Minshew, also mine. I'm a kook, so
Let's go.
what he's done with that. It's kind of I think he's gonna grow on
Hmm.
in Indy as he did in Pullman. Like he's becoming more of this guy that people come to appreciate. They go into Cincinnati and play another guy that went to UW. So we got the WSU versus UW matchup, which we're
Yeah.
gonna love. Jake Browning. He carry him? Did someone give him like a little Jake or Burrow sauce? Like just a
Nah,
little
he
love
got
sauce.
special
He has a
the
little
secret
swag on
sauce.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's got Jamar Chase.
I know,
That too. That too.
but it's one thing when a star wideout actually likes the backup quarterback. Like, yo, we're
Mhm.
good. Like, you can still get me the ball, and
Yeah.
that's what we saw. I think from Browning a little bit. This is going to be a good game. Who do you got?
I'm going with Minshew, man. That Bengals defense is chopped, man. I mean, you saw Monday night they gave up a bunch of big plays, and this isn't a team you want to give big plays up. When you got Zach Moss back there, Michael Pittman, Josh Down, Alec Pierce. Like I said, he's my sleeper this week, and he's the guy that stretches the field, take the top off, and I think Minshew isn't like he's not afraid to go downfield and launch it. Obviously, I mean, Alec Pierce had 3 catches last week for 100 yards, and it's like, oh, okay, you're going to keep airing it out because it's working. You're going to get it. So this game, you're going to see a lot more of that. Like I wouldn't be surprised you see, them going downfield and marching down, and you're like, oh shit, it's only halftime, and they're up 28. Like what's going on? Like I really feels like this is going to be a game where Minshew gains confidence, and then he just full steams ahead and like goes just racing for that wild card spot.
Everyone's talking about D'Amico Ryan, Coach of the Year. He's done a great job with the Texans, but like, what? Look at what Shane Steichen's done. Like Jonathan Taylor, you're our team. Actually, there's a little disagreement between him and the owner. We're going to sit you out a couple games. Anthony Richardson gets hurt. Gardner, Pierce, Downs, like the block punts, the special teams. I'm going Colts and the Coach of the Year, Shane Steichen, on this one.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
pretty
wait,
hefty
did
for Coach of the
Shanahan
Year.
hear that from you? Did you?
Listen, Shanahan does it every year.
Oh,
He's got a bunch of all pros. Look at the Colts roster. They're winning.
It's their defense too. They're stepping up big and they're getting after the quarterback. Like the
and,
QB pressure makes a difference.
and they let go of Leonard, right? Didn't they just
Yeah.
say, okay? I
Okay,
mean,
bye.
part ways. Like,
Yeah. He wasn't playing like himself this season, man, and like he wasn't happy with his role and his snap percentage and et cetera, et cetera. But it's like you're not playing to the level that we need you to play at. So we'll let you venture off to other opportunities.
all right, we're gonna see. Geez, this is another backup game, I guess you could say. CJ Beathard, and then who's gonna run out? The generational QB of Joe Flacco run out there.
Flacco played well last week.
Oh, he did. He did. He got a little greedy though, with the interception. But he's a Jersey guy. I root for all my Jersey guys for real though, at heart. So I like Pretty Flacco. I mean, I think he goes out there. Elijah Moore's another sleeper I got this week on fantasy. So I think their connection's only going to grow, and I think the Browns defense remains elite, man. And if you got Trevor Lawrence still dealing with that high ankle sprain, I think they'll be able to get after him, and it might be a little bit ugly over there in Jacksonville.
I have a theory, real quick. Garrett Wilson would be projected as a Hall of Famer if Joe Flacco was still in the Jets. Guaranteed. You know how you see all these like. I mean, Garrett Wilson is scary.
Yeah.
Athletic. He's got great hands. He's a good route runner. He's explosive, yards after catch. No one can get him the ball. Those first 3 weeks where Flacco was playing for the Jets,
he was top 5 in passing yards.
I mean, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. I remember
Joe Flacco, I don't know if he's generational, K Winn, based on but
He's got a Super Bowl title.
There you go.
So who do we got?
So
CJ
LQ,
Beathard.
you going Browns here?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm smashing the Browns.
Yeah, Browns are a different team on the road than at home, and I trust Flacco, I guess, more than CJ Beathard.
Yeah,
CJ
I
from
mean,
Iowa.
Trevor Lawrence is practicing. It looks like he's trying to go out there and play, but I think, with a high interest rate, he's not going to be as mobile that we know what we saw Monday, and that's going to be a huge issue.
He's going to need that. Miles Garrett's going to be breathing down his
Denzel
throat.
Ward, I believe, is coming back also. So you got no Christian Kirk. So welcome back to Calvin Ridley Circus.
All right, now we got your team. Got the Rams traveling East Coast playing the Ravens. Is there even a question who you got here?
I got Ravens, man. I told you I'm not that lunatic, delusional Rams fan. I'm real to the core, man. But it's like I honestly feel like when it comes to the Ravens defense, because I was scared about the Browns defense, and they did show flashes of harassing Stafford, but you got Puka Nacua, showing up and gaining momentum, so he got hot. My issue here is with this Ravens defense, man. They're an elite defense on all cylinders, from the linebackers, the secondary, to the defensive line. It's like we're dealing with a different beast. The Browns were kind of beat up. I really feel as though the only way we win this game is if we ride Kyron Williams. Sean McVay has a terrible habit. If the first couple plays, if we can't set up play action and the run game's not looking good, he'll fade it into the third quarter and we're already down like 14 points. And that's a bad habit that he has. And I could see that happening in this game with Kyron Williams and stuff like that. So it's just a guy that likes to talk football, but Sean McVay's the head coach at the end of the day. So I got to go with the Ravens. He's going to fall back into his tendencies, basically what I'm saying.
So I said the Rams last week, they had to split between Baltimore and Cleveland. And then I think they win a couple more games and finish 9-8 and make the playoffs. But I think they lose this one on Sunday.
They lose this one for sure. This was the only one I had circled. We just need the Packers to lose, Seahawks to lose, which they did. Thank you. But Packers ended up winning, and I'm like, damn, we don't get that seed. And then, we're back to square one.
This is how shrewd the Ravens. All related to their defense.
Yeah,
shrewd. Also, individuals of Baltimore are tailgating. I went to a game one year about 10 years back. Good friend of mine. We had gone through our backpack of beers leading up to the game. We asked for a couple of beers. They obliged. They also stood there and asked for money 2 minutes later for the beers, which I thought was hilarious. But also, I agree with you. The Ravens are, they're missing. It seems like on offense, they're just trying to piece things together.
Yeah,
it's been ugly.
Lamar
but
Jackson, he's a problem. Once he gets mobile, it becomes out of hand. Like the game is out of hand already. If he's rushing for 100 yards and he's throwing for 350 on you, the game's over. It's over.
Yeah.
Okay, is it a coincidence Justin Jefferson may?
Oh, there goes Ben. I think he hit the wrong button. I think he was trying to switch screens.
Switch screens.
I believe I know my partner well. He was saying Justin Jefferson's back. Is that what you were saying?
No, I was saying, is it a coincidence Justin Jefferson has decided to come back the week they play in Vegas? I'm sure you're not traveling if you're injured, but doesn't show up on the injury report, may play this week.
He better play this week. I need him in fantasy. It's my number one draft.
I think this is the only reason anyone would watch this game is for Josh Jacobs getting in the end zone, and then it's Justin Jefferson scoring. I don't think you're playing Madison. Maybe you have to play. Who's the backup to Madison that people are streaming?
Chandler.
It's an ugly game. It's in Vegas. Pierce has got him, I guess. Kind of. O'Connell's looked okay, I guess. I don't know.
I'll honestly lean Vikings because Josh Dobbs, he's getting a full unit. TJ Hawk, you got Addison, and now you get Justin Jefferson into that mix. Raiders defense, they middle of the pack. They show up every now and then, but I really feel as though this will be the bounce back game for them. They're allowing QBs. I think let me check real quick. Third highest completion percentage. When you get Josh Dobbs able to complete his passes to playmakers like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. They're going to be able to make yards after the catch, and that's what's going to keep these drives alive. And you also have Joshua Dobbs that's semi-mobile. I mean, we've been seeing him move around. All you got to do is avoid Max Crosby. I mean, actually going to have him on the show tomorrow. Not my show, but the show I work for, NFL Network. 41% of the sacks come from Max Crosby on that team. Nobody else is getting after the quarterback. 41%. That's fifth in the NFL. So it's like you just got to avoid him. And I think that's clearly schemed. You could do that. To give a quarterback that's come in and got you a couple wins, held it down while Justin Jefferson basically was out for a couple weeks. I think you give him the confidence in scheming him and putting him in right position to be successful, because they were thinking about benching him during the bye and like, okay, who are you going to put in? Let's be realistic. So I'm going Vikings with this full roster.
I'm just going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going Raiders. I think they're going to try to force the ball to Justin Jefferson. I don't think Dobbs and Jefferson have that chemistry. I think Antonio Pierce is going to figure out a way to control the tempo, control the ball. Yeah. A couple quick plays to Devontae Adams, a couple huge plays from Crosby. I'm going Raiders.
I just Justin Jefferson, just keep him in the hotel room the entire time until the game starts. That's probably your best bet. So, I mean, I do agree with you. There, if it wasn't in a dome, the friendly confines of a dome, similar to US Bank Field, like they have up there in Minnesota, I might not go with the Vikings, but too familiar, too many. Hawkinson's good. He's really good. And if Jefferson adds anything to Addison, look like an animal.
Yeah,
that might be a stack too.
I don't know.
Probably not. No, probably not. Never mind.
Free agent. I don't know.
Game of the week. K Winn. Let's go.
Game of the week. We've got Seattle coming to the Bay to play the Niners. Wait. Will this be the fourth straight loss?
I think so. I stopped counting.
I'm going Seahawks, man.
Oh! Let down game?
What do you know that I don't?
That Dallas game kind of opened my eyes. It's like, oh, you guys can put something together. You almost won the game. So it's like, okay, the referees were making some little iffy calls, but you're in Jerry's world. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. You're in Jerry's world.
But if that formula is true, didn't the Niners just take it to the Cowboys?
They did.
So I mean, that's a bad omen.
But I'm going Seahawks, man, because I can't stand the 49ers.
Yeah.
Can I say one thing? We can't get out of our own way, and I don't know if you guys have seen this. Jamal Adams. You talk about a guy we should be parting ways with, like. And I would expect a guy like DK Metcalf, who's even kind of been touch and go with the media and what he's done on social media and all this.
Yeah.
But what Jamal Adams does is just, and then the comment of when they go low, I go lower. This guy
double down on it.
And this is the same guy that looked like he tried to bat at a ball in the end zone and missed last week.
Nick Ferguson made him.
I mean, it's bad.
Bad.
We thought it was going to be a Legion of Boom going just with how Woolen looked last year, with how
Witherspoon
had come in. I mean, we thought it was going to be a change to the secondary. It hasn't. It's been worse. Woolen's looked lost out there too. Like that's why I say
he got benched like 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, I mean we've been stringing things. Nickelback's been playing primary corner. I'm giving you every reason we're going to lose, just so that when we actually pull this out.
Are you rooting for your team or not?
I'm just setting expectations in my head.
No, that's good.
Here's what I expect to see. George Kittle have a massive game. Ayuk to have a massive game. I think we can defend the kind of jet sweep notion, but I don't see us getting a Purdy all that much, to be honest.
Nah,
there's no.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of nasty work this weekend, but I'm still riding with you. We're going to see.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Kenny Walker.
Beside the Niners, everyone's talking about two of the best teams in football are the Eagles and the Cowboys, and we already saw what the Niners did to both of those teams. My unbiased opinion here, I think the Niners are going to get out quickly. I think they're going to score a lot of points. And I don't know if the Seahawks can score against this 49er pass rush with Chase Young and Bosa. Everyone was talking about CMC was the MVP. Now it's on the Brock Purdy train. I know he won't win, but the best, most valuable player is probably Trent Williams. They're undefeated this year when he's in the lineup, and it's just a whole different ball game when Big Trent's on that offensive line.
That is true. That is true. That's a stat right there.
All right. Now we are moving to Kansas City. We got the Bills playing the Chiefs.
This is the tricky one I said before we jumped on, and I'll honestly go with the Chiefs, man. I'll go with them, but there's not much that can back that statement with because who's he going to throw the ball to other than Travis Kelce? And Pacheco's banged up right now. I'm not quite sure if he plays or not. And I just don't know how they pull this one out, but they do. It's Mahomes. You can't bet against Mahomes. I did it last week, and it didn't work out.
So the Bills are 5th in point differential. They're great on third downs. Josh Allen's playing well under the new offensive coordinator, but they're playing in Kansas City. And in Arrowhead, I'm not picking against Mahomes. So I'm with you with the Chiefs.
So I had the opportunity last December to be at the coldest football game on record at Arrowhead Stadium. Like pissing cold. Like it was, I had to go like hide next to a fireplace in order to revive myself. It was that bad. I don't know how cold it's going to be then, but here's Buffalo stacks up. And I feel like this game happened like 2 weeks ago because it's embedded in my memory. Just how good a game it was. The AFC Championship. I think it has this feel like Mahomes' big brother, little brother with Allen almost at this point. Yeah. Like, Josh, you better win one of these or else you're going to go down as like, you know, the Jim Kelly to the Troy Aikman type thing, you know,
this might put his coach on the hot seat, honestly, if he comes out with an L.
Yeah.
I
mean, because everyone else is catching the heat. The offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, the players. He's just kind of like McDermott, out of the picture.
Yeah, he's definitely on the hot seat this offseason, if not after this game.
If he loses, he might hide behind Andy Reid. Hope he just gets hired by his staff. I don't know. I'm gonna take the Bills just to say I took the Bills because the 1 week I didn't take them and I took the Jets. It's the only one I missed. K Winn. Okay, Denver. This is an old AFC West matchup. Denver, well, not necessarily like in the same. We got Denver versus now the Los Angeles Chargers in SoFi. Russ versus Justin.
I'm going Denver just based on that defense. I mean, Justin Herbert has looked terrible in the last couple of weeks. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on, but it's not working. It's not working. And you're going up against this Denver defense, and they're taking the ball away like it's nobody's business. Yeah, I'm going to rock with the defense on this one.
Yeah, I was going to call this the antitrust game because I don't trust Staley. I don't trust Herbert. I don't trust Russ. I mean, Peyton's doing a better job coaching. I think this game could go either way. But the Chargers have looked bad. It's almost like they've given up on the coach and they've given up on the season. So,
yeah,
I'm going Chargers. They've got to win this one.
Oh no, you're doing that because I'm a Rams fan. You're saying San Diego Chargers to me.
That's exactly right.
The Mike Williams curse, K Winn.
They can't win without him.
Can't win without him. Can't
I
win
think
with
Josh Palmer they're missing, but they just opened up his 21-day pack practice, so we'll see once he gets back into the lineup because QT ain't it.
I think it all lands on it. I always like to do these. If Keenan Allen has 8 or more catches in the game, they will win. If he doesn't, they're not going to win. Fair?
No, because there's games where they shot themselves in the foot. Where the kicker
it's always going to be a one possession game.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think he'll need 10.
He'll need 10 plus. Okay,
I'll go with 10.
Is Keenan Allen one of the most underrated wide receivers in the game?
Absolutely.
Like top 3 in yards, top 4 in touchdowns, top 3 in catches.
Drafted.
But everyone talks about A.J. Brown, Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, and Tyreek. Obviously,
the Chargers
Tyreek
don't
Hill.
win. That's the problem. The Chargers don't win. Michael Irving wasn't as great as Andre Reed in some respects, but Irving won. He won Super Bowls.
That is true.
I guess Reed won a lot too, but he lost a lot of Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if that holds any weight.
All right, now to the game of the week. We conveniently flexed out the Monday night games because we think they're garbage this week. So the Sunday night game is the most important. We've got Dallas playing Philly in Dallas. Who do you like?
It's really a toss-up, but I'm gonna go with Dallas. I think Jalen Hurts is hurt. Dak has been red hot. You just got to go with the better offense on this take, because if Jalen Hurts is actually hurt the way he is, Micah Parsons is coming full speed out. you need to do something. So I think there will be a lot of mistakes on this Eagles offense. The run game has not been what's been promising, what it was last season. I honestly think this Dallas attack is just going to be more superior.
So the Eagles have given up over 400 yards in back-to-back games against the Cowboys. In their last 4 games, opponents have scored 42, 37, 17. That was against the Chiefs, a couple drop passes, so that should have been more, in 23. They can't stop elite teams. They can't cover anyone.
Oh, man, CD's going to have like 200 yards. It's going to be ugly.
But Shaquille Leonard is here, and I think he'll help a little. And it pains me to say this, but I guess I'll go Cowboys on this one. I think the Cowboys will win this one.
They need the win, honestly.
Yeah.
Cowboys are 6-0 at home. I mean, there's a reason there's a little hole in the top of the stadium. Want some always to win. I think the Eagles are going to be. I just think they're dinged up. I mean,
yeah.
Emotionally, I think it's one that they might say, okay, here you go. Just don't get hurt coming out of it.
But they've played in so many close games this year opposed to last year. Like last year, I think they scored almost close to a record in the second quarter. They're blowing teams out. Like this year, like every game, pretty much over the last 8 weeks, has been close. It's been physical. They had to come back from behind. And I think they were a little sluggish against the Niners. And I think you're right. I think Hurts is a little bit more beat up and he's letting on.
I think Swift and Gainwell get a lot of play here, like just out of the backfield and like dumps. It's just like Hurts is going to want to protect himself. A lot of this, a lot of that, a lot of this, a lot of this, and a little maybe.
49ers put a lot on tape, man, for them to.
Guess who's back though? Guess who's back? Dallas. Dallas is back in Dallas. Dallas is back in Dallas. Goddard's back. I mean, that hurt him for a few weeks, I think, not having
it did.
Solid tight end.
Yeah.
All right. So now we've got your winners. But if there's a tie, we have a tiebreaker, which is the Dallas Eagles game, total points. You've got to pick it. The over-under, if you need some help, quick Google search, has it at 51.5.
I was going to say 51. Let's go over. Let's go over 51, 31-28.
Okay. So you have to give a number. So do you want to go with 51 or you want to go with?
I'll go 50, 54. Let's go higher.
54. I like that.
So what? 54. What does that final score look like then? 27-7. No. 27-27 tie?
No, actually, Jesus. Good math. I'll go with the 51. 51. Yeah.
All right, so to recap, we have Falcons, Lions, Colts, Browns, Ravens, Vikings, Seahawks, Chiefs, Broncos, Cowboys, 51 points.
The Seahawks are going to be the surprise.
You change it now. Just do it.
No,
just
we're on a road. We're
No.
going to ride. Ride and rally.
And we got Cup and Mostert over Hopkins and Anche.
Yes.
We have a bonus question tonight for both of you.
Oh, nice.
Who's going to win the Heisman Trophy?
I don't know.
There's got to be some data around because the AP already announced their Offensive Player of the Year, right? Which was Jaden Daniels.
I'm not quite sure.
I believe they did.
I don't watch college football at
Just
all.
NFL?
Yeah.
So
I'll break it down. It's going to be Michael Penix.
No.
Oh,
Undefeated. Listen, it can't be Bo Nix because Penix beat him twice, so he's out.
Penix energy.
Big Penix energy.
Jaden Daniels has great stats, but it's not best statistical performance. It's best player on the best team. And Penix,
do you have a Heisman vote? Do you know who has a Heisman vote?
I do, and I'm voting for
No one on the
Penix.
West Coast has a Heisman vote. They're all like from Denver East.
It doesn't matter. All I have to do is look and see who's in the BCS championship semifinals.
No, all they have to do is look at their TVs when all they're doing is watching SEC football each week, and Daniels has 7 more touchdowns and
how's his
more
team
yards.
doing?
They went 9. It's respectable 9-2. What if they didn't play? He didn't play.
9-2. They've lost more than 2.
And Brian Kelly was their coach. I just don't want to see.
He's a Washington
There's
State
too much
fan,
UW
so
talk going on in this
UW.
city.
You know I'm a Huskies fan. Anyways, we're gonna bicker all night on this, so we might as well change the subject. LQ, before we let you go, can you tell our listeners where they can find you online, see you on TV, consume your content?
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow on all NFL fast channels, so Peacock, Roku, whatever you have, you can find me doing the Start and Sit 'em show with Marcus, Grant, Michael Florio. We're going to be doing Start and Sits and give some hot takes tomorrow at 4 p.m. Then you can find me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms. TikTok, I'm there, unfortunately. YouTube, of course, Instagram, Twitter, I'm all there, man. Even Facebook, man. You can find that page.
Cool.
All right. Well, we had a blast. Thank you for coming on the show. Got to have you on again. Hopefully, we'll have you on again when you raise the Lombardi Trophy for winning our pick'em.
Definitely.
You sure you don't want to change that?
No, let's go Seahawks. I was going to say, let's go Seahawks.
All right.
We're keeping that. And listeners, every week, Caffeine TV, nofilter.net, Big Ben and K Winn. You can follow us on social media. We are also on TikTok, Instagram, X, everywhere. It's at Big Ben K Winn _ at Big Ben K Winn _. And I think that's all we got.
Hold on. How many fantasy football teams are in the playoffs that you currently manage or own? Or
I have 3 in the hunt.
I haven't really counted. I'm in 18 leagues.
Oh, wow.
That's actually way better than what I was like a couple years ago. Honestly.
Do you employ someone to manage your teams, I hope?
No, I manage them all. I mean, most of them are like leagues I've been in for a while, like Dynasty. Like I kind of know my squad. I'm in a couple of redraft leagues, like my home league. You know, my guys that I have childhood friends, high school friends that were in the league for all these years. It's complete chaos, but I love it. Best ball leagues, they're in that count as well. So best ball leagues, you don't have to set your lineup. You just have to pick the best players and kind of work the waiver wire when it works for you. But
how many championships did you win last year?
Last year, 3 out of it was bad for me last year. 3 out of I think I was in 21 leagues.
Wow. That makes me feel a little better about myself.
Yeah.
No offense, dude, but like,
listen,
you know a lot, and it's still just a crapshoot sometimes.
It's because I don't know how to say no. People actually, that's the problem. You want
to be in our fantasy league next year?
Yeah, exactly. Yo, I just sent you an invite.
We draft tomorrow night.
Once draft season comes around, I get the itch. Like I'm tired of mock drafts. Like, all right, when's the draft? All right, next week. Okay,
it's a sleeper league. It's a sleeper league. Two quarterbacks. You're in.
Super flex, PPR. You're good.
I'm going to super flex out of here.
I end up saying yes.
All right. Thanks again.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Have a great day.
All right. Be good.